I'm Thomas, and today you join me with Darren inside his Lotus Exige.
Hello.
And in this video, I'm just going to be talking to him about the ownership of a Mark II Lotus Exige and what it's going to be like. So stay tuned for this video. So the first question on my mind is, what was the inspiration behind buying this Lotus Exige?
So before the Exige, I used to own an Elise, and before that I had an E46 M3, which I had for quite a few years. I had it for about 6 years, the M3, and it was quite. I liked the sportiness of it. I liked the way it drove. And I thought, how could I, where can you go from an M3 that I could afford? And I thought, I seen the Elise, and it was quite affordable, and I thought I'll try one of them out. I was not really into Lotuses, didn't know much about them, but I seen the Elise and I thought I'll give that a go. And I had that for nearly a year, and I liked it, and I thought, well, I want something faster, because the Elise was nice, but the one I had was 120 horsepower.
Okay.
So it wasn't majorly fast, but it handled really, really nice. I thought, well, I fancy the same kind of platform of car, but with more power.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Exige came along. So.
And when about did you buy the Exige? How long have you had the car for?
So I bought it last July.
Okay.
So I've had it just over a year. In that time, I've covered about 10,000 miles.
Okay, so a fair amount for an Exige, especially
this particular one, I checked the MOT history on it. It covered average about 2,000 miles a year.
Right.
And then I've bought it and then done like nearly 10,000
in a year.
So
it's definitely seen some sights last year.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, in the last year, where has your favourite kind of adventure road trip been? Where have you taken the Exige?
So probably the best one, I've been to Goodwood Festival Speed twice.
Okay.
The second day of ownership of this car was at Goodwood Festival Speed.
Right. Okay.
And last summer, and I liked it so much. I went back again this summer. I spent the whole 4 days there.
Wow.
It was pretty good. It was in the performance car park, which was almost like a car show in itself at Goodwood for all the visitors. So it was their pride of place. It was filthy because it was raining, but Goodwood's definitely a highlight of my ownership of this car so far.
Yeah, Goodwood is a fantastic experience.
Oh, it's an amazing atmosphere.
And for anybody watching and unfamiliar with our accents, we are in the west of Scotland, so it's not like a 10-minute drive, is it?
It took me probably about 9 hours, just because I had to stop for fuel and toilet stops and etc. But yeah, it's a good drive down.
So speaking of fuel, then I'll ask you two questions. What is the kind of miles per gallon do you get, and the kind of range on a full tank of petrol?
So I measured it once. I've got no MPG reader or anything, so you've got to do it with a calculator, but roughly I was getting about 33, 34 miles per gallon, and that was a mix of a bit of bypass, some town driving, some spirited driving.
Okay.
But yeah, roughly around about the 30, I would say. I think if on track you would be getting a lot less.
Yeah.
But to a tank, it's quite a small tank. So I get about 220, 230 miles to a tank.
Okay, so you probably did have to fill a few times to go there.
Yeah. I think I don't know the exact size. I think it's around 50 litres, about, give or take.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for anybody watching at home, the engine in this car is a 1.8 litre four-cylinder, isn't it?
1.8 litre Toyota engine. It's the 2ZZ.
Okay.
Which I think came from a Celica GTS. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's a 1.8 litre four-cylinder, and it has Toyota's version of like Honda's VTEC, so it's 6,200 RPM. A second cam comes in, and you get a lot more power and a lot more noise. And
yeah, because I can see you've got a 10,000 RPM.
Yeah, the tach goes up to 10, but it redlines around about 8,100 RPM.
Okay.
And it's quite addictive.
Yeah, I could imagine. So what is it like living with an Exige then on your day-to-day?
So I don't actually daily it.
Okay.
I spent about a week. I did actually daily it for a week because my other car was broken, and it wasn't comfortable. It's challenging. It's fun. You could daily it. I would say you could daily it, but I wouldn't want to, especially in the winter months. On a cold damp morning, the windscreen's quite hard to demist. And yeah, I wouldn't say it was the most comfortable car for even getting in and out. It's a bit of a hassle, but
yeah, getting in today was definitely an interesting challenge. So I bet me to ask a good question is like, what do you love most about the Exige, and what do you like about it?
So I guess maybe it's kind of obvious, but just how sporty it is to drive. I just love when you get to a nice kind of bit of road. It's nice and smooth, and the steering feels good. It's non-power assisted,
Okay.
so you feel everything. You feel all the bumps. You feel all the, like Clarkson said, you feel the difference in the road surfaces and stuff like that. And yeah, the handling that goes with it. It feels like a cliche word. It feels like a go-kart for the roads,
Yeah.
or a race car for the roads.
Well, sitting in the cabin, we've got things like your wind-down windows.
Yep.
There's no big screen like you'd see in a 2024 car.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's got aircon, is that right?
No air conditioning. Even the carpets were optional extras.
Yeah, and even the sides isn't carpeted, it's like this exposed metal.
Yeah,
so
exposed aluminium.
So yeah, it is a lightweight vehicle inside and out, and I guess that's what you're getting to enjoy the dynamics from.
Yeah.
Is there anything you dislike about the Exige?
So, to get that kind of sportiness, the suspension is quite harsh.
Okay.
And given the state of our, roads these days, it can be quite bumpy and quite kind of jarring sometimes. And yeah, I don't like driving on a kind of bumpy road with it, because it's just you feel like not only the car's braking, but also your spine can feel like it's braking sometimes.
Okay.
But other than that, I guess maybe practicality. It's not a practical car. The boot is quite small. You can just about see the others. You can't really see behind that well. There's not a great deal of space for luggage if you wanted to go on a trip with it, but I guess it's more of a car for a Sunday blast or a track day, or something that's not
a second car, if
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was a road trip car such, although I think you could do it. It'd be a good challenge to try it, but yeah, it's definitely a Sunday toy.
Yeah, to enjoy.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. What kind of person do you think should buy an Exige?
So I think if you're in the market for something kind of sporty and a bit of fun, I wouldn't be put off by Lotus's history of being unreliable.
Okay.
I know a lot of people used to say that Lotus stood for lots of trouble, usually serious.
Yeah.
I think maybe that was true for their older cars like the Spree and the XL and things like that. But with the Exige, in my experience anyway, I've had not really any trouble at all.
Okay.
I had a few issues with the Elise, and I used to say lots of trouble, usually simple.
Okay.
So I think, if you're worried about maintenance costs or, things breaking down, I really wouldn't worry about it at all. They are generally quite reliable cars. It's a Toyota engine.
Yeah.
So parts for it are fairly cheap. And yeah, I wouldn't let that scare you. And if you can afford to, splurge on a toy for the weekend, then I would highly recommend it.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for being on the channel today to talk about the Exige and the ownership. I'll leave all Darren's social media below, so feel free to check him out on YouTube and Instagram. This has been great to have you on it and showcase the car, so thank you. And make sure to subscribe as well to Cars of Glasgow. Comment below your thoughts on the Exige, and if you've got any questions, either comment below and I'll pass them to Darren, or message him directly. I'm sure he'll happily answer. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. Ciao.